I don't know why, but it's hard for me to believe that myself.
Do you trust your supervisor and her feedback?
I do, because she has a lot of experience, and she's been doing this a long time, and I've seen her help people.
And you were hired for this new position at the nonprofit, and so I'm sure they thought you were adequately prepared and ready for the job.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know, maybe because I had to go in for like 3 interviews because they had, some, from what they told me, people that they were really interested in these people. So I guess it's kind of good that
Wow, you had to go through 3 interviews before you got the job?
We had a phone interview that we had to, and then I came back from Emory, and they were like, we want to see you again, and so I came in again, and I met with some of the social workers there, and talked with them, and had an interview, and then I got called in to meet with the head supervisor, and she said, from what I did at the university, I did a lot of work with the LGBT community and with DV and a lot of different stuff like that. She was really impressed.
Well, wow, that's awesome.
So that was good.
Not everyone has those skills to work with those populations, so you should be really proud of yourself.
Yeah. You think? I don't know. Sometimes I feel that way.
What kind of things did you do with them when you were at the university that made you feel good?
Well, I had more, I was more autonomous because I didn't have to, fit into this, square box of what it meant to be, in that field or in that agency.
Right.
I could really just...
Oh, God. Is it not recording?
I don't know. Well, this will be a little fun time. How long has it been? It's still recording. Yeah, it's still recording.
Okay. What is this doing?
Sorry, Anne.
Maybe we can edit this out.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to watch this.
Okay.
So, you were working at the LGBT community.
Yeah, and I was more autonomous, and I felt like I could go through more creative processes of, creating things.
Okay.
And at this new agency, they already have, a set, this is what our groups are, this is what our one-on-ones are, this is what we do.
Okay.
And not that I have a problem with that, but it just makes me feel like I have to fit now into this, box, and if I don't, that they're not going to want me there.
Right.
And that I'm not doing the best that I need to be doing.
So you feel like they're at this new agency, they're requiring you to fit in a box, kind of. Or meet their expectations, and you have all these great ideas that you'd love to share with them.
Yeah.
Have you tried to share any with your supervisor?
No, I haven't.
Maybe if that might be something that you're willing to do, because she seems to trust you. They hired you, they believe that you can do it and that you're adequate for this position, and I'm sure they saw your resume and you told them about all the awesome things you did at Emory with the students there, so it probably would not be a bad idea to share some of your ideas.
Yeah, I do trust her, and she has told me that, I've been doing good.
Right.
So I think that's something I could do.
That's really good.
Yeah.
The fact that she thinks you're doing a good job so early on, that means that your skills are very adequate and that you're doing a fabulous job.
Yeah. So she may be open, you think, to if I approached her, you think some ideas that I had, and
definitely, yeah, and you can always ask her, maybe ask her why they do things the way they do, and maybe present your ideas too.
Yeah,
they might be open to that.
Yeah.
So you did talk a little bit about your panic attacks, and how you think that was because you're in a new location, you're living at home. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about living at home. How is that working out?
My parents, they care about me, and they're very supportive of what I want to do and what I am doing, but they put a lot of pressure on me. They're constantly oh, so how was your day? And did you basically, did you do anything grand? Did you do anything that really changed anyone's perspective? And it's like, when I wasn't living with him, when I was off at Emory, like, I didn't have to deal with that.
Right.
You know, because I could talk to them on the phone, but it wasn't like constant.
Every day, yeah.
Yeah, and I notice, like, when my mom, especially when she says things like that, like, oh, well, you know, maybe if you did it differently, or if you weren't so freaked out about not being good enough, you would be fine. And when she says stuff like that, it just, my anxiety goes up, because, you know, I want my parents to be proud of me.
Of course.
And I want to be proud of myself, but it makes it really hard when they're saying that. And then I start even more thinking in my head, like we talked about, you know, I'm not good at this.
Right.
And so they put a lot of pressure on me.
Yeah, it sounds like they do put a lot of pressure on you. Have you ever felt that your parents were proud of you about something?
When I got into Emory, they were ecstatic.
Okay.
They were very excited, and, you know, but...
What about when you graduated from Emory?
They were happy, but they were, you know, and they came and everything, but they didn't... I know they were happy, but because I went through the bulimia, my grades slipped.
Okay.
So I had some bad grades. And so I feel like they might have been happier for me if I had gotten all A's, which I didn't. Right. You know, and so that was kind of crappy. But I mean, when I got in, they were so happy about that.
That's really good. And it sounds like they're excited that you're back home with them. Yeah. You know, and happy to have you around. And maybe they really are interested in what you're doing at your job. And that's why they ask so many questions. Yeah. Could that be?
It could. I mean, maybe for my mom, because, you know, she's been a stay-at-home mom, so she's never been in the workforce. So, like, I mean, I know she is interested. I guess it's just how she sometimes says it that I feel like, oh my God.
Right. And it makes your anxiety go a little.
And I don't know if, like, I could approach her about it. I don't know, like, I don't know if I should say anything.
Have you ever said anything to her about, you know, maybe your feelings or things that bother you?
Not really, because I feel like because I don't want to disappoint her, and because she has these expectations, like, I don't want her to think that, you know, I don't know, like, that I am mad at her for that, or I'm being disrespectful, or thinking, oh, you know, why are you questioning me that way? Because it's just, I would like to know if she actually, like, is doing this out of caring, or doing it because she feels like she expects me to be something.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you have a lot of unclear, you know, perceptions about your mom and her thoughts about you. And, you know, that's normal, though. A lot of women at your age do have questions, you know, or interesting relationships with their parents, and they're not really sure, like, where they fit in or how they can work with their parent. But, you know, I would just encourage you to maybe talk to her if you feel comfortable to, you know, because you never know. She may be wanting to talk to you about it. And, you know, I'm sure that looking at your new job, she's just really proud of you. It sounds like that you do a great job at your job, especially with your intern, your supervisor telling you, you know, that she's really proud of you and that you're doing good, and that's awesome. So it sounds like you do have a good control over your new job and your living situation, but you just don't see it, and that's where the panic comes in.
Yeah, it could be, because I think because I don't have that visibility, it's hard. And, you know, I do think, though, sometimes, like I would like to talk to her. I think that's a good idea, but I'm wondering, like, what if she does say, you know, I do have these expectations of you, like, what do I do? Like, at that point, should I say, I mean, what would I do with that? Would I be like, oh, okay, you know, because that's just hard.
It is hard, definitely. It is good to know what your parents expect of you, for sure. But again, you can only do as much as you can do. You can only do your best. And it sounds like you are doing your best, you know?
I'm trying.
You are.
I'm trying.
You have a lot on your shoulders right now. Sounds like you need an outlet, though. You mentioned yoga.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I did take a teacher training thing when I was in my undergrad, and I learned so much about it. And, you know, practicing it makes me feel a lot better. And I know that, like, when I do practice, my stress goes down. I'm just like, I don't have as much time to practice as I'd like. So, like, I'm wondering, like, is there stuff that I could do, like, I don't know, in small periods of time that would help me, like, if I'm stressed out or something like that.
Definitely,
like,
especially if you like yoga.
Yeah.
We could definitely do some deep breathing techniques or muscle relaxing. You know, I could show you some of that because that's a really good technique when you're, you know, feeling stressed or overwhelmed and you just need to take a few minutes to yourself and in a quiet, you know, in your office at work, shut the lights and just do some deep breathing. It sounds like with the yoga that you really like the yoga that you may really benefit from the deep breathing. Is that something you may want to try?
I would like to try that with you. Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
We can definitely fit that in. From what I'm looking at here, Susan, and seeing everything that you've told me about today, I do see that you suffer from panic attacks. And it's totally possible that, you know, with time, these could progress. You could have more of them. So I'd really like us to get a handle on what's causing the panic attacks. And it does seem that it is your new job, you know, just being a little overwhelmed and a new living environment with your parents and their expectations. And so I think that we'll probably see each other for maybe 10 sessions. Does that sound like something you would be okay with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
And I'm thinking that next time we can work on some deep breathing and muscle relaxing, and, you know, maybe that would help you as a coping skill. So that way when you feel, maybe you feel an attack coming on or you feel a little bit of extra stress coming on, you can try to do those and it can de-escalate the panic. Would that work out for you?
Yeah, that sounds great, actually.
Okay. I really think that's going to work out because, you know, I think you're doing a great job, and I think that everything will work out for you as long as we can get the panic attacks on.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Susan.
How long was that?
I think it's recording.
20. That was 20.
I think it still records. Okay, I think it's still recording
When
right
it's...
now.
No, it's not. Oh, yeah, it is.